be nice, Brad, to have pretty much a full list of healthy guys to choose from.
Yeah, 100% availability in terms of injury. Obviously, the two players unavailable through suspension with Scott McMahon and Brent Harvey. But, again, our strength and conditioning medical team have done a fantastic job, not only getting our players conditioned and ready to play, but available as well.
Are you any closer to knowing what you want to do with the ruck role on the weekend?
A little bit closer, but it's going to come down to a line ball call, which is a really good problem to have at match committee. We knew we were taking a pretty significant risk with trading Hamish McIntosh at the end of the year, and a lot of the responsibility would go on to Todd Goldstein. But Daniel Currie's just been a revelation for us, and credit goes to our recruiting guys for picking him up so late in the draft, and he's trained really well all pre-season. So it's a credit to him that it's going to be a very close call. And
that competition probably won't end at round one. If you're in a good spot, it should go all year.
No, it will, and it's not just Goldstein and Currie either. It's Majak Daw who's shown that he can play in the ruck too. So we've got a lot of options there, and we've just got to work out which is the best combination to win us the game.
Amongst the sort of new blokes, yesterday your skipper was saying he thought Ben Jacobs was a standout to get around one berth, possibly Jordan Gisbert's too, and maybe Currie. Is he sort of on the money there?
Yeah, no, he's right. I mean, the players know themselves as well as anyone, because most coaches will tell you that the team largely picks itself based on training performances and performances through the NAB Cup. So Andrew's spot on there, and Ben Jacobs has been really good for us. He's still learning the way that we want to play, because there are obvious differences between different teams. So. But he's a very coachable young player, and we think he's going to be a really good player for us, not only now but into the future.
How close will Majak come to making his debut?
We honestly think that Majak's in our best 26 to 28 players, and that 100% availability has probably hurt him a little bit, because there's not going to be a spot gifted to him. He's going to have to earn his spot in our best 22, but his development's just been fantastic, and we think he's an absolutely viable option for us now. So I'm not just using coaching cliches when I say he's in the mix. He's genuinely in the mix, and if he gets his chance this week, I'm sure he'll acquit himself really well. But I've got great confidence he's going to play senior football this year.
Has Nathan Grima had enough game time?
We think he has. He's easily in our top 3 or 4 endurance athletes at the club. So he's got that base behind him. And we thought he was very, very good against Hawthorn in a game where he's under the pump, where we played a young side against a seasoned grand final side. So he performed really well there, and has been training ever since. So we think he'll be right to go.
What are your options for McMahon and Harvey?
Well, Taylor Hine again came in, and we were impressed with what he did in defence against Hawthorn, and we've been looking for that guy who can play on the genuinely good small opposition forwards, of which Collingwood have a number, and so Taylor Hine will be right into consideration as well.
It's becoming a regular thing at North Melbourne. Last year, I think you only had 2 or 3 blokes on the injury list, did he? One time. What is it? Why is it so good?
Well, the staff at the club do a great job, and as I said, it's we have a coach-driven program. I mean, we want to get our players conditioned and ready to compete, but at the same time, we want them available. And it's a fine line striking that balance between doing enough work in the pre-season and overworking your players and getting them injured. But Steve Saunders, Dr. Andy McMahon, just combine really well to set up a great program to get our players conditioned and keep them resilient to injury. Now we know that we're as susceptible as any team to contact injuries, but I mean their record on soft tissue injuries has been outstanding, and Steve Saunders should take a massive amount of credit for that.
Do you think it'll be a good test, Grima being out for such a long period at the start? Is there any one player you're expecting to step up in his absence?
No, I'd hope not. Boomer's irreplaceable. You couldn't, no team could lose a player of his calibre and expect to replace him. But I think that we've got a number of players who, you saw glimpses of last year who are going to improve again, and we need them to improve to take the next step. So, while we'd love to have him out there on Sunday, it forces us to adapt, and it forces us to find some other players to fill the breach. So we think in the medium to long term, this absence is going to actually help us.
It's almost like a trial of life without Boomer. You don't want it, but it is going to happen one day.
Yeah, it is, and Essendon have probably had the same issue with Dustin Fletcher, but he keeps fronting up and playing really well. So, Now, as coach, I'm hoping Boomer keeps on doing that for a number of years to come. But, you know, for the last 3 years, we've tried to lessen the reliance on Petrie and Harvey and Wells. And, you know, not only has that helped us as a team, but it's actually helped those guys individually.
You beat the Pies late last year. Can you take much out of that performance?
Oh, look, I think what we take out of it is that we were absolutely creamed the last few times we played them prior to that. So, you know, I don't think, in terms of specific tactical things, I don't think we take too much of it. The game always evolves. But in terms of the maturity and the development of our list, I think it was a pretty important game for us. And, you know, that one amongst, you know, many others in the second half of last year. So, you know, we feel like we're better able to compete against those really good sides, and Collingwood's definitely one of those. And so the natural maturity of our list, I think, gained some self-belief and some confidence from that performance.
How do you game day role for Boomer?
Yeah, there is. We've got him looking at some specific things, you know, which I think, even at 34 years of age, will really help him as well. So we think that the things he'll do for us on match day will help our team. But, you know, the primary reason we're doing it is to actually show him a look at the game from the other side of the fence and to just get a better understanding of what's really important to winning games of footy. And I think when he comes back in round 7, he'll have a better understanding of that.
Does he sit in the box with you guys?
Yeah. Look, whether it's a stats box or the coach's box, we'll work that out. But he'll have a specific role that'll help us.
Essendon missed the finals last year, but sort of started strongly. You'd expect Carlton maybe in the same boat. Besides the injury situation, what makes you confident that you won't be one of the teams that'll sort of be the casualty of them possibly challenging for the A?
Oh, well, we expect every team to challenge. I mean, we're not concerned about comparing ourselves against everyone else at this stage of the year. I mean, there's a lot of water to pass under the bridge for the rest of the season. You know, we're confident that the work we've done in the pre-season will improve our list overall and our team performance. What we don't know is how much everyone else is going to improve, and based on what I've seen in the pre-season so far, you know, there are some genuinely good teams who didn't make the finals last year who are going to be pushing in this year. I think Brisbane heads that list at the moment. So, you know, we know at this stage it's going to be a super competitive season, and you know, I think it's great for AFL fans, and just about every team would be starting the year with genuine optimism that their team's going to play finals.
There's been an argument in the last 24 hours about the slide rule with Lacroix breaking his arm, that perhaps that wouldn't have happened if the rule hadn't been changed because he would have gone for the ball rather than kind of braced. What's your thoughts on it all?
Oh, look, I think it's a very difficult rule to judge at this early stage. I mean, all I can say is that the free kicks that were paid for sliding were adjudicated exactly as the AFL and the umpires department explained it to us. And that's I think all anyone can ask. You know, there are going to be contentious rules and rules that are designed for player safety and welfare. And all we ask as coaches is that it's adjudicated the way it's explained to us. And the umpires did a great job of doing exactly as they said they would. So players will take time to adapt, and I'm sure they will. But I think we all need probably, you know, a bigger sample size to judge the effect of the rule so far.
How much have you had to train the boys up to handle a rule change like that? Is it instinctive, or is it something that they really have to?
Yeah. No, we've had to make slight adjustments in the way they attack the ball. I mean, Jack Zeeble had 2 sliding free kicks paid against him within the space of 10 seconds. You know, he had one, and then the opposition played on, he dived in again and gave away another one. So his instinctive style of play to desperately lunge after the ball, you know, has had to change, and we've had to work with him a little bit on that. But players adapt generally very, very well, and you know, I think we need to judge this with a in the fullness of time rather than just after 1 week.
Brad, the game against the Pies is part of a really tough start to the year. You've spoken about the importance of having a fast start. Do you think you're ready to go?
Yeah, well, look, I think, again, availability is one thing, but there's no point having all your players available if they're not fit and they're not match hardened and conditioned, and you know, we think we've struck that balance pretty well. So, you know, I'm confident that we're ready to go. Our preparation will hold us in good stead, but there's no. It's very difficult to prepare for the intensity of round 1. There isn't a NAB Cup game that can give you the ideal sighter into round 1. So, but we've done all we can do, and we're looking forward to going out and executing on Sunday.
The Pies round 1, it doesn't get much tougher. Are you looking forward to that challenge?
We are, and I think our fans are too. You know, I hope we have a huge turnout on Sunday. We really need our fans to get behind us. It's not often we play Collingwood where our fans are louder than theirs. So we really need our fans behind us and getting out to support the boys, because it's going to be a great game and hopefully a great start to the year. And we just can't wait, but we need our fans with us.